Hello everyone, can you hear me? So is all the students have come? All A division students, C division students are present? Anyone can chat, send message? Okay. Uh, I am audible and you can see the screen, right? So now today I will teach you about uh, the boilers. The boilers are used in various industries, mainly to boil water. Water is directly or indirectly used in many industrial processes. So this is one of the kind of boiler you can see on the screen. Boilers are of many types, simple boilers to huge boilers, which can run the locomotive engines or train engines. So main purpose of using a boiler is to boil water and generate steam, and from that steam can be converted into either electrical work or any mechanical work, and also that hot water can be used for sterilization purposes like in hospitals. So there are many uses of boiler and its hot water and its steam. So the boilers you can see on the screen are not made up of stainless steel but made up of iron, wrought iron, etc. So this structure, when we are using every day the boiler and water is getting boiled in that boiler, there are many kinds of problems arises. So usually if it is used for running the trains or the steam engines or running the power generation system, that is production of the electricity, then the boiler has to work continuously. Now there are various kinds of water. mm, water can be soft, can be moderately hard, or can be extremely hard. So what is the quality of the water we are using in the boiler? Everything, the safety and security of the workers who are handling the boiler depends on it. Okay, so you can define the boiler like this. It is a closed vessel in which water is heated. The heated liquid or the steam is used in various processes, including boiler-based power generation. Boilers are used for steam generation also. When hard water is evaporated, if the water is hard as it contains lots of salts, so the steam is getting evaporated and water is getting continuously or slowly or gradually concentrated. So progressively the concentration of the dissolved salts in water is increased. When their saturation points are reached, the dissolved salts of calcium and magnesium along with other soluble impurities are precipitated on the inner walls of the boilers and in due course of time adhere to the metal surface in the form of scales and sludge. So these two terms are here important. which causes the boiler problems. Now, a boiler has many problems. One problem is the formation of the scales and sludge. Other problems are priming and foaming. Then this is corrosion, etc. So, what is scale and what is sludge and how they form and what are their disadvantage is the important one what you should understand. So, why the scales and sludge are formed is due to the presence of the salts in water. The salts which are present in water can be of calcium and magnesium, chloride, sulfates, carbonates and bicarbonates. So when if you are feeding in the boiler the hard water or the water which is not enough soft contains the salts, then as the water gets evaporated from the boiler, the salt the water becomes enriched with the salts, and these salts slowly gets precipitated over the boiler walls, boiler pipes, inner tubes, various rivets. So the structure of the boiler, what you have seen, there are many pipes, there are many portions, there are many joints. So each of the part of the boiler gets affected by the salt deposition. So in boilers, water evaporates continuously, increasing the concentration of the dissolved salts, and when their concentration reaches saturation point, that is the solution becomes saturated, they are thrown out of water in the form of precipitates on the inner walls of the boiler. If the precipitated matter forms a very hard adherent means sticky, sticking on the surface of the boiler, adherent coating on the inner walls of the boiler, it is called as scale. And if the precipitated matter is loosely bound, not sticking on the wall, loosely bound or removable, soft, slimy, it is called as sludge. So this is the difference between sludge and scale. Sludge is loosely bound and scale is strongly bound. Okay, but both are precipitates. Sludge and scale both are precipitates. So to avoid this formation of scale and sludge, we must concentrate on the quality of the water which should be fed in the boiler and which is known as the boiler feed water. The pre-treated water which must be used in boilers for steam generation is known as the boiler feed water. So the water quality should be checked. If it is found that the water is not soft, it contains lots of salts, then the water must be treated. That is, hard water must be treated, converted into soft water and should be then sent to the boiler for steam generation. To avoid various problems due to presence of dissolved salts and impurities, the water is treated before it is sent to boiler. The boiler feed water should be as soft as possible and it should be free from dissolved gases like oxygen, CO2, and it should not be alkaline. So, the condition of the water or the quality of the boiler feed water is as follows, like its hardness should be 0.2 ppm only, soda alkalinity, that is sodium carbonate alkalinity should be 0.15 ppm, caustic alkalinity, that is NaOH or OH minus ion hydroxide alkalinity should be 0.15 to 0.45 ppm, and dissolved oxygen must be less than 0.02 ppm, and also the pH of the water as much as possible it should be kept at neutral. That is better to have pH 7 or around 6, but the water should not be alkaline. So this is about the, if it question is what is boiler feed water, you should write this answer. These conditions, if you cannot remember, there will be no problem, but the definition of the boiler feed water you must know. It is the pre-treated water. Before feeding into the boiler, what is the quality of the water, that must be checked. Okay, so what is how the sludge is formed? Sludge is a soft, loose, and slimy precipitate. But why the sludge is formed? Because of the presence of this kind of salts in water, that is magnesium carbonate, magnesium chloride, magnesium sulfate, and calcium chloride. So these salts are not soluble in cold water, but they are soluble in hot water. So if these salts are present in the boiler filled water, then they slowly precipitates over the boiler wall and the different parts of the boiler. Okay, so it is very easy to clean the boiler if sludge is forming, since it is very loosely bound. So we can do two things. One is blowing water through the boiler at a very high pressure, so it will take out all the sludge formed, or which is what is precipitate in the boiler. So remember that this sludge formation occurs in the cooler part of the boiler, where the water remains cool, where the heat doesn't reach properly, and where the agitation is very low. That is where if water is continuously boiling in a place, then there is, we can say, it is a turbulent part of the boiler. But where the small pipes are there, where the water goes inside, but water is not boiling there, then it is called as the less turbulent part. So in those parts, the chances of sludge formation is more. So we can use a wire brush to scrape off the sludges. Wire brush is like the brushes we are using to wash our utensils in our kitchen. So bigger kind of, that kind of wire brush can be used. But what is the disadvantage, or why we should worry for sludge formation? So this sludge formation once happens in the boiler, what happens? They are a very poor conductor of heat. So anything which is formed over the surface of the metal, and actually what happens in boiler, water is boiled obviously by using some fuels. So we apply heat for that, by that heat, applied heat, the water gets boiled. Now there must not be any kind of obstruction between the metal surface where the water is there and the heat supply. So there should not be any kind of obstacles. Obstacles are produced when there is sludge formation or scale formation. That is, there is a, just imagine in the kitchen, if you are boiling water in a pan, and the pan is, bottom of the pan is coated with some precipitate or something, then the heat of the flame will not reach to the water very easily. It will get obstructed. So, and since this precipitate is not good conductor of heat, so what happens is there is lot of heat required or lot of fuel required to boil the water. So since sludge is a poor conductor of heat, if it is produced inside the boiler, it leads to the wastage of fuels. Okay, and then it also decreases the efficiency of the boiler. Sludge formation increases the cleaning expenses also. Always you will have to clean the boiler, and it is not easy. You require some employees to or the laborers to clean the boiler regularly or periodically. Then it settles in the regions of the poor water circulation, such as pipe connection, plug opening, etc., thereby choking of the pipes also occur, and this is very dangerous. Once the choking of the pipe occurs, that is very dangerous. Okay, so that is about the sludge formation, but still sludge removal of the sludge is easy. But what is scale formation? How the scale is formed inside the boiler? It is purely due to the presence of various kinds of salts in the water. If water is not treated properly, then there will be scale formation over the boiler. So what happens is, first thing is the decrease in the solubility. Certain impurities in water decreases solubility with increase of temperature. So much impurity separates out from water at a higher temperature. Okay, at high temperature, if the solubility of various salts decreases, then if the temperature is increased, those salts will form in the water, and when you are cooling the water, it will precipitate down at the bottom of the boiler. One of the example is calcium sulfate. It doesn't get soluble when the temperature is hot. In the cold water, you cannot see it. Okay, it is in the dissolved conditions, but the solubility decreases when the water is boiled. So when the water is boiled, solubility gets decreases, then it comes out in the form of the precipitate, and slowly it settles at the bottom of the boiler, wall of the boiler, pipes in the boiler, and it forms the scale. So what is scale? Scale is a very adherent layer of salt which forms on the boiler. Adherent, it doesn't go out. Okay, so and then if this is about the calcium sulfate salt, how it behaves. Now if magnesium fluoride is present in water and you are boiling that water, then what happens? Hydrolysis of the magnesium fluoride takes place in presence of water, and it gets precipitated in the form of magnesium hydroxide. And not only that, also in this reaction, also HCl, which is a acid, strong acid rather, it forms. So two things occurs, that is, one, hydrolysis of the magnesium chloride gives rise to again a precipitate magnesium hydroxide which settles down and water becomes acidic. Okay, then other salts like calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, they are also may be present. So when they are heated strongly, then they are also gets converted into the calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, and they um, precipitate precipitate out. And here also you can see that this reaction, calcium bicarbonate decomposes to calcium carbonate, and H2O plus CO2 forms. What is this? When these two are forming in water, ultimately what forms? H2CO3, H2O plus CO2. If you combine, it is H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. Carbonic acid, that means again there is some acid formation takes place. Similarly, magnesium carbonate. Magnesium carbonate means this also behaves in the same way. It gets converted into magnesium hydroxide and it's precipitate out. So if the salts are present in water, and you are boiling the water, you can see that so many precipitates are formed, or the salts are coming out and settles in the bottom. Moreover, apart from these salts, there may be some silica present. So this silica also react with the calcium and magnesium present in the hard water and gets converted into calcium silicate, magnesium silicate also. So all these salts precipitate and deposited inside the boiler as scale and sludge. Now, if anything is forming out of the boiling of the water, all these chemicals, all these precipitates, they go where? They get deposition of this kind of precipitate take place where? Either in the uh, obviously at the bottom of the boiler, on the walls of the boiler, depending on the designs of the boiler. So it goes inside the pipes also. So choking of the pipe means what? Pipe is blocked. Your drain pipes are blocked. Then what happens? If the pipes of your bathroom, toilet or kitchen pipe is blocked or choked, that is called choking. So something got deposited. How your kitchen pipes are choked or blocked? If you are putting every day, you are putting dirty particles, one day it will get choked, blocked, and water will overflow. There will be creation of the pressure. So just imagine that the water is boiled at a very high temperature. You continuously it is boiling, and there is these pipes. That is because water will flow through the pipes. The steam we should be carried out through the pipes, and it will be taken to the industries for either sterilization purpose or to run the engine or to do the other work, anything, or power generation, electricity generation. So if the pipes are blocked, then what happens? The steam cannot go out. If the steam cannot go out, it creates high pressure on the boiler. So ultimately, what happens? The boiler explodes due to the clogging and choking of the pipes, and due to the formation of the scale and the sludges, the boiler gets explosion takes place. Okay, so what is the disadvantage of sludge formation? I have told you same thing. And the scale formation, see, this is very more dangerous. Wastage of the fuel takes place, as you know that again scales are very bad conductor of heat. So coating of this kind of scales on the metal surface can reduce the rate of heat transfer from boiler to the water. Therefore, excessive heating should be done, which causes wastage of fuel. So more than required. But fuel is required to boil some a particular volume of water. You need now more fuel, so that causes wastage of the fuel. Then what happens? Automatically the boiler efficiency decreases. Once the amount of fuel increases, boiler efficiency decreases. Then overheating of the boiler also takes place, because the scales act as heat insulator. They are not good conductor of heat. So overheating of the boiler is required to maintain high temperature in order to convert water into steam. At higher temperature, the metal becomes weaker. You are heating the metal for more than necessary temperature. So the metal gets weaker and weaker. So due to overheating, rapid reaction occurs between water and iron at high temperature, causing the iron or the material get thin. Okay, and slowly what happens also, due to the reaction of the iron and water at a very high temperature takes place, and slowly the iron gets converted into rust or corrosion takes place. Then one more thing is that at high temperature corrosion takes place. And then what about the cleaning of the scale? How you can clean the scale? You can clean it by various processes are there, but the usual process or normal easy process is you treat with some chemicals. You can wash it with applying dilute HCl, or you can also treat the scales with EDTA. So all the calcium and magnesium precipitate, they will form complex with EDTA and they will come out. Okay, so when these things happens, that too much of scale and sludge deposition takes place, and when the sludge mixes with the scale, one more thing is, when the scale and sludge they mix together, all are converted into scale. That is again more dangerous. So ultimate thing is that the boiler gets explode, or the workers who are working there in the boiler section or managing the boiler, their life is become that becomes a very danger. They work in endangered places. So boiler actually it is a industry, boiler industry. We can say many engineers are required to operate the boilers or maintain the boilers, and these engineers are mechanical engineers mostly. They get a chance to study boiler engineering, and they get a chance to work in boiler industry. Okay, so this is about the scale and sludge formation. Now I hope that you know or you have understood that what is the difference between scale and sludge. Okay, so this may be a question that differentiate between scale and sludge. So what is scale? I can repeat once again that what is scale. If the precipitate is hard, if the precipitate is hard and strongly adhering on the inner walls of the boiler, then it is known as scale. The scale is hard and adherent, but the sludge is soft and loosely bound, slimy, and can easily be removed. And name the salts which form scales. So all kind of salts like the salts which are present in hard water, you can name all the salts: calcium carbonate, then magnesium hydroxide, calcium sulfate, calcium phosphate, silicate, etc. And sludge is formed by calcium chloride and magnesium chloride. And scale cannot be removed easily, but sludge can be removed easily. Okay, and scale formation of scale is much more dangerous than the sludge formation. So the question will be, what is boiler feed water? Explain scale and sludge formation. Obviously you'll have to write the reactions. What are the reactions taking place? What are the precipitate forms? And therefore the scale and sludge forms, and what are the disadvantages of scale and sludge formation. So this is one question over. Now I will move to the second question related to again boiler. That is one more problem. It is boiler corrosion. Now I hope that you remember that you have read corrosion in second module, and you know about corrosion, what is corrosion or how the rust forms. Okay, so here also in boiler, since it is made up of iron, I have told you it is made up mainly of iron, so it has a chance that boiler undergoes corrosion. So what is boiler corrosion? It is the decay of the boiler material by chemical or electrochemical attack by its environment. Okay, it is the decay or disintegration process of boiler in which the boiler surface gets degraded by the attack of the feed water. It may be due to chemical or electrochemical reactions. So here you will have to remember the three things, that is the boiler corrosion mainly occurs due to the presence of um, dissolved oxygen, dissolved gases like carbon dioxide, dissolved salts like MgCl2. So these three equations you'll have to remember. Okay, so corrosion in boilers is due to the following reasons. So dissolved oxygen, due to the dissolved oxygen, what happens? Iron reacts with the dissolved oxygen, and water is also there, so it gets precipitated as iron hydroxide, and this occurs at high temperature when the water is heated. So the dissolved oxygen is now can you hear now? Okay, so when this is dissolved oxygen, when it is present in water, it reacts with, at a high temperature, it reacts with iron to produce iron hydroxide, FeOH whole 2, and this happens when you are overheating the boiler and the boiler temperature is very high. Now I am audible. Put a message. If I am not audible, put a message. And then see, ultimately what happens, this ferrous hydroxide again reacts with the oxygen. This reaction goes on continuously and it is converted into rust. So what I am telling is boiler corrosion takes place. Remember, boiler corrosion takes place due to the presence of dissolved oxygen, dissolved carbon dioxide and dissolved magnesium chloride. So how the corrosion or rust formation takes place due to the presence of dissolved oxygen, you will have to write this reaction. This occurs for iron when it reacts with the oxygen, water. In presence of this, it forms the iron hydroxide, and this iron hydroxide still continues to react with the dissolved oxygen and rust formation occurs. So in the beginning of my slide, I have told you that dissolved oxygen quantity must be low for boiler feed water. Now second thing is that boiler corrosion. Wait, I will answer all your question. Let me finish first. I have 6 minutes only left. Then again, I will send you one more link. You wait for the second link also. Boiler corrosion due to dissolved gases like carbon dioxide. If carbon dioxide is present, then carbon dioxide and water, it forms, again I have told you already this thing, these two reacts to form the carbonic acid. H2CO3 is the carbonic acid. Any kind of acid forms inside the boiler, it helps in corrosion. Rate of corrosion takes place fast, and this kind of corrosion, all of you know about the pitting corrosion. So here, which kind of corrosion takes place due to the formation of the carbonic acid is pitting corrosion. Therefore CO2 is also released inside the boiler. CO2 released inside the boiler due to this reaction. See the second reaction, if this kind of salt is present in water, bicarbonates are present in water, then it is converted into CO2, and this CO2 and H2O forms H2CO3. And then when water contains these dissolved salts like magnesium chloride, it also forms magnesium hydroxide and it forms the HCl. HCl again gets react with the iron, forms FeCl2, FeCl2 and water, it forms FeOH whole 2, and ultimately it again forms rust. So these equations you will have to write if you get about, write a note on boiler corrosion. Okay, so the boiler which is formed with the iron, you cannot galvanize it, because again if you are doing the galvanization, then you require some zinc to get applied on it. But at a high temperature, zinc and water again it will form and it will create one more problem of forming the zinc salts, other salts. And so there is no such thing known that the galvanization of the boiler is done. Okay, uh, okay, so at what time you have electronics exam? Okay, A division students, is it clear? I am again repeating the slides for boiler corrosion. uh, It is due to the dissolved oxygen, dissolved CO2 and dissolved MgCl2. And how the dissolved oxygen forms rust, you will have to explain. Uh, then why this dissolved carbon dioxide forms H2CO3 and causes the pitting corrosion. And this is one more question, okay? You'll have to answer. And dissolved salt, in dissolved salt only you'll have to remember this kind of MgCl2, how it forms ultimately rust. Okay, so my next I will continue with boiler portion is over, 2 questions over. Now determination of fluoride in unknown solution by Spadon's method. So you can read this slide, that determination of fluoride in unknown solution by Spadon's method. Okay, so what is fluoride? Do you have any idea about the dissolved fluoride in water? Dissolved fluoride in water. Okay, so why the fluoride is very important is that fluoride can, if fluoride is present in water, then it causes fluorosis, that is a disease, and it attacks the bones and teeth of the person. So this is very common in your region, that is in Bijapur district in Karnataka. We have the high content of fluoride in water, and that's why we observe various kind of this kind of uh, dental fluorosis, bone destruction, etc.